Alrighty guys, today I'm going to be going over how to install what I did. I won't be doing the full install as I've already done that. This is a 2-week process for me as I've been working on this and having help on it and all that. Right here, you see the main thing, the LED island here, the counters here, the backsplash here, and the counter here that's going to be lit. This one's turned on just so you can get an idea. This one's turned off because it is quite blinding. So on this one was a little more simple. We didn't have to solder all the connections. It came with connections on it. We ran the black strips or RGBs, addressables with integrated circuit, cool white and warm white. And then the white strips are just whites as a backup in case the RGBs ever go out. So every other LED strip is ran on a separate controller, and then the whites are run on a separate controller. So 3 total controllers just for the island here. You can come over here and see that, how it's set up. Also, there's a backup power supply right there. So we've got everything ran into the floor right next to it. And then I am going to be putting a cap on the front of this. If we need to get in here, there will be access, but this will be covered. And then we're going to be running this up to an outlet right in the middle of an island, the island, so you can charge phones or things like that. So let's see, what was I going on to next? So here's the power supply and setup and the controllers here. I went ahead and ran 4-channel wire. I'm using the Bandlan X app, and my controllers are SP630Es. I'll link everything under this video in case you guys want to see what I used for power supplies, wiring, controllers, remotes, etc. So here is the remote that I'm using, for example. If I hit on, it'll kick on those lights there. We even did run these so that right here on the wall, they will stay in the same pattern. So if you switch to, say, off, they all go together. And so that way this isn't on a different dynamic pattern than that. So turn them on, they all flow together. Pretty neat, actually. So this one's not hooked up yet. I'm still finishing right here. I'm 1 hour away from them installing the counters, and I'm working on this. I've been working on this for weeks and months. I've been redoing the whole kitchen, redid the wall, I'm redoing part of the ceiling, everything. I just took on more than I can chew, so it's taking a while. So anyway, you can switch this to whatever color you want. This controller is actually pretty neat. You can dim them. Turn them way down. Turn them way up. Party or go to a white. So anyway, that's enough about the remote and the controllers and the wiring. Now I want to just show you guys what I did here. So these are all addressable, like I said, and they're RGB, so they have to go in a sequence. So you can run dynamic colors and you can flow and you can cycle colors. Now these I couldn't use the connections on because there's not enough room. So these had to be cut, stripped, and soldered into place and then ran down underneath the counter here. And then I had to set up another controller over here. This one's not quite done. I am going to tidy this up just a little bit, clean this, and then eventually we're going to paint in here and put new wood. But like I said, we don't have time and we need counters now. So this stuff here is all going to be routed back behind the sink, up under this stud here, all the way over down into the controller. This is a backup set. This is my main set. So like I said, every other one is ran on a different controller. There will be 2 controllers under here and then a power supply for the white. The white power supply over here is just these simple connections, just like that. That one strip runs this side and the front, and then the other strip runs the rest of the whites here. So that's what I did for the whites there. That's just a 5 amp 12 volt power supply. And then it runs this lead, and then there's a jumper from here to here. So that runs kind of like that. Now, that's enough for the wiring and the lighting and all that stuff. The last thing I want to talk about is how we're going to prevent the Quartzite from showing each individual LED diode. So you see these pucks here. What I've done is I took 24-inch rods acrylic clear rods. I threw them on the lathe so that it didn't melt as we cut them. I think a saw blade would have melted them. So what we did is we cut with a lathe so that you not only get full transparency, but that you don't get any burn marks. That one might have been burned just a little. That might have been one of the earlier ones that I was cutting. When I finally got the speed down, this is what our product looks like. Oh, it looks like I got a little on that one too. But you get the point. It's really smooth. I mean, really, really, really smooth. And we did it on a lathe. So all these are exactly the same within one thou. So then we took this and we put a clear silicone on the bottom of it, and inside that tiny little divot that creates an air suction. So then you push down on it, boom. The silicone squeezes out the side, seals around the edge, but then also creates a nice suction cup seal so that the quartzite can sit directly on top of those. Now, these are spaced every 16 inches and then one every in between those. So 8 inches here. So really between here and here, there's 8 inches, 8 inches, 8 inches, 8 inches, maybe 7 inches there, whatever. Anyway, you get the point. I didn't have a full 8 inches, so some of these got 1 inch closer. But the idea is that the counter will sit on here. It'll give it just enough room for these to, what's the right word? Dissipate, spread out, whatever. The light so that you don't see the individual LED diodes. Now, I put them on the edge of the counter because if somebody puts their hand here, I want the support and I don't want the counter to ever lift like this and lift off of this stuff. So you see that I have them along all the edges and then the backs. Over here, I don't have them quite all yet because they're going to put the counters down and then the backsplash on. So I put most of them on except for over here because I didn't know exactly where they would want me to place them. So anyway, this is the final how to light up your quartzite counters with RGBs, power supplies, 12-volt power supplies, and this is what the final result looks like.